Okay, so I'm back. Came back from a previous stream. Announcing that I'm finally back, but I'm here to say welcome to the stream. I've been absent for a week because I had a strike, but now it's completely fine, and wanting to return to normal. Uh, but overall, this has been great. I think my absence has made me think about the future of everything overall. I'm just here to entertain somewhat, and when I when I was absent, I was doing some Twitch streams, which that was a really big experience. How different here versus Twitch. I got messed with a lot, and I did a whole after me being messed with a lot for like a pretty long stream. I think it was like close to 4 hour stream, like about an hour stream, like 3 hour stream or something like that. I actually learned a lot from that, and after that, I did a life lesson stream about like an hour or so, I believe. It was a good life lesson stream. It was teaching you about cyberbullying because during that stream it was pretty crazy. Um, I do recommend watching that if y'all are fine with that. Um, I, so overall, I so recap. Um, I've been good. It's been eye-opening for sure. It's been entertaining, to say the least. Um, and I tested out the whole um, confirming the genre stuff on Twitch, like what game I played, and I click on the game I played, and like stuff like that. That's a pretty cool thing that Twitch does that YouTube doesn't. And YouTube also doesn't show everybody that streams, which Twitch does. So I guess that's why it was pretty easy to find me there versus here. And yeah, it, it's been crazy, to say the least. I've been I've been I've been thinking for a while, and the whole Snyder fan stuff sort of played out. I kind of want to more focus on the current DC stuff, and really hone in on that and try to boost that up and actually um, bring people to actually enjoy what I have to talk about. And I get it. Some people do enjoy me bashing on them, but I don't think bashing on them really does anything in the grand scheme of things. But I would like to actually point at really good moments of promotion and how Millie Alcock was correct in saying that women get way more hate in media in general, but specifically like movies and TV than males do. And I know you're gonna say, "Oh, males get bashed on because he's not buff enough. Oh, he's not this." But women have a whole different thing. Like they're looked through a magnifying glass all the time, and body shape and everything is that. And they kind of proved her point by bashing on her looks, saying that she looks trans and all that stuff. So overall, I understand what she meant, but her execution wasn't that great, I would say. But overall, yeah, that it's been good. That kind of content, the content that I really want to focus on is more enjoying um, the movies and enjoying things, how they're promoted and how people can actually uh, see things. And the stream's been pretty good so far, but overall, I think it's very good. Oh, oh, I got strike by reacting to Hot Ones. The Hot Ones that the Rachel Brosnahan was on, the Lois Lane actress. And I'm guessing I didn't react hard enough to like say that it was fair use or anything like that. But um, glad I'm back, and I'm glad I um, can bring stuff forward. And sad I still have the strike, but I'm trying to take steps to get rid of it. And I actually have done pretty well um, overall. While I was absent, I did some Twitch streams, and the streams are still on my Twitch. And yeah, 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 yeah. That's fair too. That's fair enough too. But yeah, overall, I'm glad to be back, and even if this doesn't work out, they said 90 days, and since I believe it's been a week, it's 80 something days, something like that, um, to actually get rid of it. But overall, this is good for me because I kind of learned from it, and for all my streams, I currently I do this. I just put an invite Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, that's kind of dumb. I'm gonna actually do this, and so this is the link, and for some reason it's not letting me actually post it, so I'm gonna I spaced it out to make it Renegades React. All right. They do what they can and care about their fan base. There are quite a few people I can think of when you say you know who, but yeah, I get what you're saying. It's been crazy, and what's done is the people that have accounts to like just Renegade React. I definitely remember them, but I can yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, I remember them. Yeah, but at the same time, they are like they sort of changed into like really not liking James Gunn, like somewhat. Um, but to be fair, not everyone is like that in that group of people. So that's a fair assessment. But I'm gonna actually refresh. There you go. I had to just refresh it and see if that helps. Yeah, that didn't help. That didn't help at all. But yeah, overall, it's been good. Um, for anybody. I don't know who you mean by you know who, but there's a few people I can think of during for that situation. But I do think this me coming back does work. My previous stream explained me being happy to actually coming back, and this is going to be a good change for me. I'm going to focus on more of the enjoyment of the things, not really bash on the people that kind of deserve being bashed on, if you know what I mean. I'm going to focus on how I feel, how good the promotions have been for movies in general. And people have been very negative about the whole Paramount Warner Brothers deal, and my perspective is very different, and I actually welcome it because Warner Brothers has been going downhill for a while, and last year was just last year was just a good thing. They brought back up Warner Brothers and became successful that year, but like that year was just mainly to boost up Warner Brothers' reputation for people to buy him out. You know, they've been doing good for that year and stuff, but no matter what, they were in trouble. Paramount was also in trouble, so that's why Paramount is trying to get Warner Brothers. And that is why I want Paramount to get them, because this will save both companies. But of course, if I say that, a lot of people would be against it because they believe the whole government situation that's happening for them it's bad. But which they don't realize is David Ellison um, is more neutral than you think because David Ellison did help Joe Biden, and his dad Larry Ellison didn't. But that's my point. My point is, even if your parents are one thing, it doesn't mean you should be the same thing, kind of thing. And I believe that's kind of how it works. And yeah. Yeah. Overall, for now, I put an invite for them. I'm not sure what else to do, but overall, this is a good thing, and I believe there might be 3 people watching at the moment. 2 people, 1 person left. But overall, this whole thing has been a little overboard. So I'm trying to change up my content now. My previous playlist of the whole Snyder stuff is still there, so you can watch it just to like kind of poke fun of the situations that's been going on through that. And yeah, that's how it is. I put a space in it to make it like be able to post it because if I post it, it doesn't allow it. So what I did was put a space. So you remove the space and then go to the thing. If you want to actually be in the thing, that's how I tried to. Yeah, you just remove the space and then go to the thing. So you remove the space so you can actually click on it. You know. So I put a space between the S and then this for the StreamYards. So you can join if you want to join because sometimes it doesn't allow links. You can probably go to the channel. Um, might be able to. Uh, might be able to. Yeah, that's fine. But overall, that's kind of how it is. But yeah, I just I'm gonna go here and possibly go to this stream. See what's going on through that. So I think now I okay. Might be. Talk about what else is. Oh, the final do this. Over. Okay. Oh, hi. Hi. I'm gonna show you how, because this is another person and not like a company, I believe I can show you this. This is this craziness, and I'm actually gonna fast forward this too.
This is hilarious.
Okay.
Man, they started filming. Oh my god! And so nobody cares about fucking Clayface. No one cares. I don't even know why they're pushing that shit. It's gonna be another Joker garbage.
No, Clayface is. What do you mean Joker garbage? You mean the sequel? Because Joker, the first Joker, made $1 billion. So I don't know what he's talking about. This has been pretty crazy. I don't know what he's talking about. Joker made $1 billion and people really liked it, and it's not like Miss Marvel thing. Joker 2, on the other hand, people didn't like, and I can see the whole Taylor Swift thing. He's a Swiftie. He has a promotion thing for that, and also I saw that that promotion. But yeah, overall, I'll show you this.
Where is it?
Okay.
Exactly. So everything is basically what's been getting talked about.
Okay, everything we're to talk about. What's pawn? Again, Slabs, Seal Abdul sort of was a little bit neutral, a little bit, but he's still part of the whole Snyder stuff. So he is still against WB, sort of, I would say. But David Zaslav leaving is not him being fired. There's multiple ways to think about this. Zaslav probably just said no about the coming back because David Ellison did offer David Zaslav a co-CEO position. So this doesn't mean he hates David Zaslav. This just means they weren't in agreement. If this is true, this is just saying David Zaslav disagrees. Which also does not mean that James Gunn will leave. And again, I would be fine for James Gunn to leave. I'm not completely against James Gunn staying, like leaving and all that stuff. But signs show that Paramount does like Superman, James Gunn Superman, and signs also show that they see the potential of James Gunn's universe. And another reboot would be a bad idea because people are tired of reboots. People make fun of the whole reboot
For
thing.
months, Gunn is gone. David Zaslav is out upon the completion of Paramount WB. David Ellison will basically see he's gonna be the boss. Gunn is fucked.
Okay.
David Zaslav is out upon completion. Of the Paramount deal. David Ellison.
Where is the word James Gunn in this thing? It's clear Ellison has his own idea regarding his namely DC. It's not clear at all. Where is the link?
Will be basically assume his current role
where
over
is
WBD
the
along
link?
with the Paramount. It's clear.
Yeah, they're delusional. Yeah, hashtag verse. What happened there? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and it is dumb because within this, Syl Abdul is kind of part of that fan base a little bit, even though he's not as toxic as them. This post is clearly trying to start something with that fan base. But yeah, overall, that's kind of how it will work. I'm still curious if it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't let me link that. But if anyone wants to join, y'all can join. But I have to put a space between the S and the like with the StreamYard thing because it's not letting me share invite. So with the whole S situation, you just remove the space. Yeah. And I believe she would be Maxima, and but it is possible that she would be Wonder Woman because that whole interview mentioning that, and she said hoping and everything, but her hoping might just be the whole her actually joining the universe and not specifically that character. But yeah, overall, hype for that. But yeah. Gonna actually. Okay, he seems kind of against it. I'm gonna see if okay. Would be a rush. Yeah, I agree. It'd definitely be a rush thing. And I did check if he shares the whole thing, and I confirmed that it's not. It's just pictures,
I do
so
admit
it should
that I
be fine.
liked the style and vision of
Good.
the Zack Snyder DC Extended Universe, the DCEU,
Okay.
which of course is now gone. In particular,
Mhm.
Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Dawn of
Okay.
Justice, and his version of Justice League.
Yeah.
But I can completely understand why it didn't resonate with most
Yeah.
people, why it didn't work in the end.
Yeah.
It was perhaps too much of a departure,
Mhm.
and the films were long, very atmospheric.
Yeah.
They were heavy and often incorporating a lot of characters and intricate story elements, which needed more
Yeah.
movies to fully play out.
Agree.
And Zack Snyder was definitely building towards something.
Mhm.
He was telling a larger story over the course of those movies.
Yeah. Turning
And
into
to
a
some people, they didn't
evil
want to see
Superman.
that. They wanted films that were much more self-contained.
Yeah.
But I think this is especially true of the extended cut of Batman v Superman and the Snyder cut of Justice League,
Yeah.
which was effectively a different film when you compare it to the Joss Whedon version of Justice League.
Yeah.
But the films weren't profitable enough to justify continuing the series.
Exactly.
And gradually, the DCEU morphed into a kind of
None of
Marvel
them made $1
Cinematic
billion.
Universe knockoff in terms of tone and visual style, becoming less serious and more comedic and colorful
Yeah.
as the movies went on. And I think ultimately the MCU wasn't going to be replicated. That's what Warner was trying to achieve. They were trying to make their own version of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
And they were also trying to skip a few steps. You know, they'd done Man of Steel, and then they really needed to establish the other characters in their own standalone movies first.
Yeah, exactly. He's pointing out good points and everything.
Flash,
It makes sense.
Wonder Woman, Batman. But instead, they went straight into Batman v Superman and then straight into Justice League.
Yeah, it's definitely a rush.
And it just didn't work. And the Suicide Squad movie that was in there as well
Yeah.
kind of gets overlooked very easily. It wasn't great. I think in its prime, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, it is funny that people are wanting the David Ayer cut situation, because if parts of the movie itself was bad, David Ayer cut wouldn't really fix a whole bunch, because David Ayer still had the Joker have like the damage stuff and like really like weird acting with him, and no matter what cut you have, the acting is still there.
Unique accomplishment in cinema history. There's never been a big movie franchise at that kind of scale. And there likely never will be. So the DCEU was scrapped and replaced with the DCU, managed by James Gunn. And the first film in that series, which he directed, was last year's Superman. And that was a reboot of the universe. They were starting all over again from a blank slate, recasting the characters. And it was financially unsuccessful. The series is continuing with the sequel, and it was financially unsuccessful. The series is continuing with the sequel. This year's follow-up, Supergirl.
Okay.
And that film has been going through numerous changes recently in post-production. I don't think it's looking good for that film. And I have to ask, is the DCU going to work? Or is it dead on arrival? Is it unlikely to have a long-term future? Because I can't really see it working out, to be honest. I'm going to take a look at this article from Bounding Into Comics. Unusually high number of Supergirl test screenings raising red flags. Is Warner Brothers scrambling behind the scenes? I've already talked about the numerous test screenings that they've done so far for this film.
It's normal.
They've obviously been trying to solicit as much feedback from test audiences as possible, and different versions of the film have been shown, but regardless of which cut of the film was shown, reactions remain mixed. So, yeah, I don't think that's a good sign. It says, Supergirl, one of the pillars of James Gunn's DCU, is in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. What should be a straightforward cosmic character piece has instead become the subject of a mountain of concern. Reports from inside the test screening circuit paint a portrait of a production
test screenings are not allowed to say anything, so I don't know.
An identity. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good, does it? Certainly from the trailers released so far, I haven't been impressed. I have to say, I haven't been impressed.
Obviously.
The film feels very Guardians of the Galaxy in terms of look, color palette.
Okay, that's already a negative thing on his part, because copy and paste for everyone that does not like it. Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, if you look at the comics, if they actually made it more Guardians, if they made it comic book accurate within the same comic, it would have been straight up Guardians of the Galaxy. How colorful it is, and how bright and like like detailed the environment is. That it's very Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know.
The music they're going for, just the feel of it, the tone of it.
The music is not even part of the movie.
It feels very Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, okay.
Which I think shouldn't come as any surprise. That is consistent with the filmmaking style of James Gunn, because of course
it's not written or directed by him, but
he directed the 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Now, this film is directed by Craig Gillespie, but it's produced by James Gunn.
Okay, Kevin Feige produced every single Marvel movie. Where's his style? Huh? This is dumb. This is crazy. This is crazy, right?
And Peter Safran. So it says the biggest red flag is the sheer number of test screenings, which you...
Okay, I'm gonna actually look up how many tests. Okay. Okay, how many tests? Okay, yeah. And I'm gonna actually show you this screen right here. I mean, the number of test screenings, studios don't publish exact record-breaking numbers, but industry insiders say that the upper limit is usually around 8 to 12 full test screenings, and going above that is extremely rare. Going above is extremely rare. So if you see this, the maximum number based on industry reports, typical maximum for a big studio film, 5 to 8 screenings. That happens when the movie is expensive. That happens when the movie is expensive, the story or tone isn't landing, the studio orders multiple rounds of editing or reshoots. Extreme cases, 10 to 12. These are the outliers, usually troubled production that goes. So, major rewrites, multiple reshoots, several different cuts tested. Okay, there. Beyond 12, basically unheard of, at least cost explodes. So, yeah, if it is 8 screenings, it's fixing what's going on with the movie. But overall, like this thing says, studios don't publish exact record-breaking numbers, but industry insiders say the upper. So this says studios don't share the record-breaking numbers of the test screening. So the insiders did say, oh, 8 something, but 8 is, yeah. So overall, this kind of proves right here that it's not why there's no official record. Studios keep test screenings numbers secret because it reveals how much trouble a movie was in. It can affect investors' confidence. It can hurt marketing. It exposes decision making, internal decision making. So we rely on interviews with directors, comments from editors and production, reports from audience research firms, industry books like Audienceology. Final answer. Most movies never exceed 3 to 4 test screenings. The highest number reported by insiders are around 10 to 12 screenings for trouble blockbusters. Anything beyond that is basically non-existent. If you want, I can also tell you which type of movies gets tested the most. Famous films that change dramatically because of the test screens. Why some directors fight against. I'll just click on one. If by one you mean in most test screenings usually big budget commercials on that audience react directly. Comedies, horror films, or quadrant blockbusters. So it could be 4 quadrant blockbusters, horror films, receiving 4 quadrant blockbusters. These are interested the most. Okay. So that's what I say. I checked and joined us. Yeah. Okay. But yeah. Yep, that's so far no one's really shown up yet, and really interested in how this whole situation is good. I'm gonna actually leave and possibly go to Twitch, maybe. So have a good one, and might see you on Twitch. And my Twitch account is the same, Johnny Dome, but you can easily find me there.